A former Nickelodeon child star. A quiet Brooklyn street before sunrise. And a hit and run so horrific, her body was dragged down an entire city block. Today, we're breaking down the tragic and shocking death of Kianna Underwood, a familiar face from All That and Little Bill, and the heartbreaking details surrounding her final moments. Warning: this story is disturbing, emotional, and raises serious questions about safety, accountability, and justice. Right finger watch until the end, because we'll also discuss why cases like this often struggle to find closure, and what happens next. Face mask. WHO was Kianna Underwood. Kianna Underwood was only 33 years old, but she had already lived a life filled with creativity, performance, and promise. If you grew up watching Nickelodeon in the early 2000s, her face may feel familiar, even if you didn't know her name. She appeared on the final season of All That in 2005, sharing the screen with stars like Kenan Thompson, Amanda Bynes, and Nick Cannon. She also voiced Fuchsia Glover, the cousin of the main character on Nickelodeon's Little Bill, a show that became part of many childhoods. But Kianna's career extended far beyond kids' television. She appeared in The 24-Hour Woman, which premiered at the Sundance Film Festival. Death of a Dynasty, a satirical film about the hip-hop industry. The national touring production of Hairspray, where she played Little Inez. Born in New York City, she later moved to Los Angeles, continuing to pursue her passion for acting and performance. And then, her life was taken in a way no one could have imagined. Revolving light. What happened in Brooklyn? Kianna was crossing the street at the intersection of Watkins Street and Pitkin Avenue in Brownsville, Brooklyn, when she was struck by a black Ford SUV, according to police and law enforcement sources. Instead of stopping, instead of calling for help, the driver kept going. Authorities say the vehicle traveled nearly an entire city block with Kianna's body trapped underneath. Surveillance footage reportedly shows her body eventually tumbling free near Osborne Street and Pitkin Avenue. Emergency responders arrived, but the injuries were severe and catastrophic. Kianna Underwood was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver fled. No immediate arrest, no public identification, just silence and heartbreak. Heartbreak. The brutal reality of hit-and-run cases. Hit-and-run cases are especially devastating because they involve not only violence, but abandonment. Experts say drivers flee for many reasons. Fear of legal consequences, panic, impairment, or a deliberate decision to escape responsibility. But when a victim is dragged for an extended distance, investigators emphasize that the driver would have been aware something was wrong. And still, they didn't stop. For families, this creates a second wound, not only grief, but unanswered questions. Who did this? Why did they run? And will justice ever come? Glowing star. From child star to real life. Kianna Underwood's story highlights a reality many people forget. Child stars don't disappear, they grow up. They become everyday adults. They walk city streets. They face the same dangers as everyone else. When tragedy strikes, the public often realizes too late that these familiar faces were living real lives beyond the screen. Kianna wasn't just a former Nickelodeon star. She was a daughter, a performer, a New Yorker. Candle. What happens next? Police continue to search for the driver of the black Ford SUV. Investigators are reviewing surveillance footage and urging witnesses to come forward. In cases like this, public awareness matters. The more attention a case receives, the harder it becomes for it to fade away. And that's why stories like Kianna's must be told, not to sensationalize tragedy, but to honor a life and demand accountability. Bell. Final thoughts and call to action. This was not just an accident. This was a life lost, and responsibility abandoned. Dove. Rest in peace, Kianna Underwood. If you remember her work, share your memories in the comments. If you believe hit-and-run penalties should be stronger, speak up. Down finger. Comment below. Thumbs up. Like this video to keep this story visible. Bell. Subscribe for responsible celebrity news and real stories behind the headlines, because fame fades, but lives matter.